Welcome to Timeless Audiobook, The Missing Half, a novel by Ashley Flowers. Today we bring you the gripping and addictive story The Missing Half, a novel, a thriller by Ashley Flowers. From the very first page, Ashley Flowers pulls readers into a chilling mystery of loss, buried secrets, and the haunting question that never lets go. What really happened to the missing half? The novel takes place in the quiet town of Summit Lake, Indiana, a place where everyone knows everyone, and secrets rarely stay hidden for long. But some secrets run so deep, they stay buried. For decades, the story revolves around the life of Lacey Keller, a successful true crime podcaster and known for her sharp instincts and relentless pursuit of justice. But this case is personal because it drags her back to her own painful past, one she tried hard to forget. Years ago, Lacey's twin sister, Holly, vanished without a trace. They were identical in every way except for one thing. Holly disappeared when they were teenagers, and Lacey was left behind to pick up the pieces. Their family was shattered by grief, and the town was consumed by gossip and suspicion. Despite exhaustive searches and investigations, no answers ever came. Holly was gone, and with her, half of Lacey's soul. The novel begins with Lacey receiving an anonymous tip about her sister's case. It's been years since Holly's disappearance, but the pain remains raw, and the unanswered questions still haunt Lacey's every waking moment. The message suggests that new evidence has surfaced, evidence that could finally uncover the truth. Against her better judgment, Lacey returns to Summit Lake, determined to confront her past and solve the mystery that has defined her life. The small town hasn't changed much, but the people have. Old friends have become strangers, and familiar faces wear new masks of secrecy and fear. The moment Lacey arrives, she senses the tension thick in the air. Whispers follow her wherever she goes, and it quickly becomes clear that not everyone is happy to see her back. Lacey starts digging into Holly's case, using her podcast as a platform to reignite public interest. Her investigation uncovers shocking revelations about the night Holly disappeared. As she interviews friends, former classmates, and law enforcement officials, disturbing truths begin to surface. Holly's perfect life was far from what it seemed. Behind the pretty smiles and good grades were lies, betrayals, and hidden fears. One of the key characters is Carter Blake, Holly's ex-boyfriend, whose charm once captivated the entire town. At first glance, Carter appears to be a grieving ex struggling to move on. But Lacey can't shake the feeling that he's hiding something. Their encounters are tense, layered with unspoken words and unresolved pain. Lacey remembers their complicated history and how Carter always seemed to have a dark side he kept hidden from everyone. The deeper Lacey digs, the more dangerous her quest becomes. Someone is watching her, tracking her every move, determined to keep the past buried. Her car is vandalized, threatening messages arrive, and her podcast begins receiving anonymous calls warning her to stop. But Lacey refuses to back down. Her need for answers outweighs her fear. As the story unfolds, flashbacks reveal the complex relationship between the twins. Though identical in appearance, Holly and Lacey were vastly different in personality. Holly was the outgoing, confident sister, adored by everyone. Lacey was more reserved, often feeling like the shadow of her radiant twin. Yet beneath Holly's perfect image were cracks no one noticed. She had secrets, relationships, and fears that even Lacey never fully understood. A crucial discovery changes everything. Lacey finds Holly's old journal, hidden away in the attic of their childhood home. The pages reveal a side of Holly that no one suspected. Holly was being stalked, receiving threatening notes, and fearing for her life in the weeks before she vanished. The journal entries are chilling, describing her growing paranoia and belief that someone close to her wanted to hurt her. Lacey's investigation points to a group of their high school friends, a tight circle bound by loyalty and shared secrets. One by one, she interviews them, uncovering layers of deception. Among them are Brooke, Holly's best friend with a guilty conscience, and Ethan, the quiet boy who always lingered on the outskirts. Their stories don't add up, and as Lacey pieces together the puzzle, a sinister picture emerges. Tensions escalate when Lacey discovers a hidden room in the basement of the abandoned community center where local teens once hung out. Inside, she finds disturbing evidence linking someone to Holly's disappearance: old photographs, personal items, and cryptic messages written on the walls. The discovery confirms her worst fears. The person responsible for Holly's fate was someone from their inner circle. As Lacey narrows down her list of suspects, the danger intensifies. Someone is desperate to silence her, and the threats become more brazen. A break-in at her temporary residence leaves her shaken but resolute. The evidence points to a cover-up that extends beyond a simple missing person case. There's more at stake, and the deeper Lacey digs, the clearer it becomes that her sister's disappearance is tied to something much darker. In a shocking twist, Lacey uncovers the involvement of their father, Richard Keller, a respected businessman and pillar of the community. His stoic demeanor always masked hidden pain, but now, Lacey realizes he's been carrying secrets of his own. Richard's connection to influential town figures and his efforts to suppress certain details of Holly's case raise troubling questions. Lacey confronts her father, demanding the truth. Under pressure, Richard admits that on the night Holly vanished, he received an anonymous call warning him to stay quiet or risk losing both daughters. Fearing for Lacey's safety, he complied, sacrificing justice for the illusion of protection. His silence enabled the real perpetrator to disappear, leaving Lacey trapped in a cycle of unanswered questions. The revelation devastates Lacey, but also fuels her determination to expose the truth. With mounting evidence and growing public interest in her podcast, she orchestrates a live episode that confronts the suspects head-on. The town gathers to listen as Lacey shares Holly's journal entries, the hidden room's contents, and the lies that have festered for years. During the broadcast, new evidence implicates Carter Blake. His charming facade crumbles as his involvement is exposed. Carter had been obsessively watching Holly, driven by jealousy and control. When Holly tried to break free from his manipulation, he lashed out, leading to her disappearance. But Carter wasn't working alone. Brooke, Holly's best friend, had been complicit, covering for Carter out of misguided loyalty and fear. The explosive confrontation sends shockwaves through Summit Lake. Law enforcement reopens the case, and Carter is arrested, his secrets laid bare. Brooke faces consequences for her role in the cover-up, and the town is forced to confront the darkness that has lurked beneath its surface for years. In the aftermath, Lacey finds herself both shattered and empowered. The truth has finally surfaced, but at a cost. The idyllic image of her childhood is forever broken, replaced by the harsh reality of betrayal and loss. Yet, in her grief, Lacey discovers resilience. Her podcast has not only given her sister a voice, but also ignited a conversation about justice, truth, and the hidden scars people carry. The novel closes with Lacey standing by the lake where Holly used to swim. The water is calm, reflecting the twilight sky. Though Holly is gone, her memory lingers, woven into the fabric of the town and etched into Lacey's soul. The missing half of her heart may never be restored, but the truth offers a semblance of closure. The Missing Half, a novel, a thriller, is more than a story of a missing girl. It is a haunting exploration of sibling bonds, buried trauma, and the relentless search for truth in a world built on secrets. Ashley Flowers masterfully blends suspense, emotion, and shocking twists, crafting a thriller that keeps listeners hooked until the final revelation. Through Lacey's journey, we witness the resilience of the human spirit, the consequences of silence, and the healing power of confronting the past. The novel reminds us that sometimes the missing pieces of our lives are hidden in the darkest corners, and only by facing them head-on can we hope to become whole again. Thank you for listening to Timeless Audiobook. If you enjoyed this summary of The Missing Half, a novel, a thriller, stay tuned for more gripping book summaries. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat.